Hello everyone, are we ready for our cards? In this segment we're going to be creating 10 cards with the Eat, Play, Love paper collection and all the the goodies that go along with that. So grab your card bases, your Eat, Play, Love stamp set, and if you haven't cut out your thin cuts, we'll need, I believe, 6 of them. And your papers that we cut the other day, and your wood shapes. And I'm actually going to put mine inside of a craft jar. Well, this one's square, but our craft jars are now round. Put them in there for easy access. Oops. See, now it wants to go on that card. And of course your intense black ink. And let me see what else. Oh, we'll need some markers. We're going to be using the ice blue, the dull green, and the coral blend today. Your stickers, and of course all of your finishing tools like scissors, 3D foam, adhesive, and all those good things. So I think we're ready to get started. We're going to be creating 2 of each. So it's going to be these 2 cards, and then these 2, and then these 2, these 2. Oh, grab your paper trimmer for this one. And then, oh, we're missing a card. This one and its friend. I'm not sure where it went. We'll find it. All right. So if you are just joining us or you're new to our group, you can still follow along with the supplies you have at home, or if you would like to create these exact projects, the supplies are still available on my website till the end of the month, and you can hop on juliescott.closetomyheart.com and grab the supplies. And these videos that we're creating today will stay in this group until Facebook doesn't want them. They'll stay in this group forever, so you can always go back and create these later if you would like to. So let's go ahead and get started with card number 1 and 2, which are these 2 right here. And let me just move some things out of the way, get a little bit more organized. Okay, I do have the instructions. When you purchase the supplies, I send you the instructions and all the measurements. If you do not have that, please let me know and I can send it over. But I try to do that right when you order so you have access to it. So what we'll need for these 2 is, grab them off my stack. Oops. We'll need 2 of the florals, 2 of the, no, maybe that was right, 2 of the cherry pattern, 2 of the yellow pattern, and 2 of the candy apples, and 2 of the whites, and then 2 jar thin cuts for this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with, let's stamp first. So take your 2 jar, just set those to the side, your 2 jars, and grab your stamp set. And you'll want this little foamy thing to get a nice image. Gives it a little bit of a cush. And my big block. And be careful when you're pulling it off. You don't want to rip it. They're pretty good quality, but you don't want to risk it. Okay. And since it's kind of flimsy, what I'm going to do is lay it down on my mat, and then I will pick it up with my block. Now if you have a brand new stamp set, you'll want to season it by either stamping it and on a scratch piece of paper, or you can rub it on your hand to get some of that manufacturing stuff off to get a nice clean image. So for me, when I stamp these, it's easier to stamp it on the side like this. I don't know why, but it is. So I go down, let's see, actually, I will want to change that. This is the biggest block ever. That doesn't really fit on that one either. Darn it. It's the biggest block that Close to My Heart has, and since it's such a large image, it's what they have recommended for this stamp. So it's still pretty huge. So if you have something smaller that fits, great. So we're going to use intense ink, or intense black ink, and we're going to just stamp it right on top of our die cut shape. Just press down. There you go. And then our second one, I'm going to ink that up and press it down. There we go. And we're going to use that again, so I'm just going to put it off to the side for now. Keep your black ink out, and we'll do the sentiment. And I chose all of these sentiments on here will fit inside the jar, so you can choose whatever sentiment you would like, but I'm going to do a pint of thanks and a quart of gratitude is the sentiment I'm using on this one. And again, if it's new, you'll want to season it, and we're going to just dip it into that black ink. And I'm using intense black because we're going to color it. Actually, I'm going to turn it this way. And when you're coloring in images, the intense black doesn't smear. Okay, set it down. Usually I'm like right on top of it, so sometimes it's hard doing, so my head is not in your way while I'm stamping. And then set it down, just hold it for a second. There we go. Okay, so I don't think, we might be using this again, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it off with the stamp chamois. And the stamp chamois just has water on it, and if you do not have one of those and you're a stamper, I highly recommend it. They come in a pack of 2, and I really have only used 1 so far, so it lasts forever. So we're going to add a little bit of color to these jars. So the ice blue, we're going to outline the whole jar with. And I'm using the light, let me make sure, yes, the light blue. That kind of matched with the blue that's in the kit. I should have brought my chart. So when I get these markers, these are tri-blend markers, I will do a little, I have a white piece of cardstock, and I color them in next to each other. So like I'll do the light, a little swatch of the light one, and then the medium, and then the dark. So then when I am creating something, I can just go right back to that chart and look and see what will look the best with my project. Okay, so let's do the second one. Oops. I'm just going to outline. You could leave it blank if you want to, but I think that blue just adds a little bit to it. Go across there, and then come down. And oops. All right. And then what we're going to do with the blue actually is grab one of your wood hearts that came in your Eat, Play, Love Wood collection, the smaller one actually. These big guys are in my way. There Here's a smaller one. So like this size, like the, not the small, but the medium one. I can put all those back. These remind me, I've said it before in another video, but these remind me of like little Barbie toys. Just a little, and how cute they are. And anyway, takes me right back to my childhood. We're actually going to color this heart with the marker. And we might need to do, let's do the darker color. Here we go. So the dark, just to add a little bit of blue. Oh, the grain's going the other way, so maybe it'll be better just to, there we go. I was going against the grain and it didn't like it. So these wood shapes are really awesome. You can color them with ink. You can color them with your markers. You can color them with shimmer pens. Pretty much anything to change what color they are. Okay, so now let's use the dull green. I'm going to use the light again, and we're going to color in this ribbon section. And if you think it needs to be darker, you can totally change it. I like to always start with the light, see what it looks like, and then be like, okay, I need to go to the medium. It's not as dark as I'd like it, and I'm just going to outline that just to give a little bit of a contrast. Okay, and then on this one I'm going to start with the medium because I know the light was too light. I'm just going to do that ribbon. Oh, they're squeaky. Okay. And then I'm going to take the coral blend and I'm going to actually, did I say the dark coral mark, the dark one? Glad I wrote myself instructions. And I'm just going to cover over this thanks, just kind of going back and forth, just covering it up. Just to give a little splash of color to kind of emphasize the thanks on there. Okay. All right, now we are ready to assemble our cards. So grab your card bases. Grab 2 of them. And your pieces. And we'll start with the pattern. And some adhesive. And I brought an extra with me today because you know I always run out. Let's scooch those over. There we go. I'm just going to set it in the center, leaving a white edge. I like that little bit of extra white. Just gives it an added layer without too much bulk. Okay, then we're going to add our cranberry. Cranberry is the old red color. This is candy apple. It's a different fruit. Candy apple in the center. Then we'll do our white. And put that right there, just with that little bit of red peeking through. Then we're going to add our cherry piece. And goes about, maybe about an inch above on the white. And then the yellow right on top. And then, oh my gosh, that's so cute. I like it just like that. I'm going to use a journaling pen. This is the 0.05 black, and I'm going to add some doodle lines around this white piece. So I'm left-handed, obviously, if you can't tell by now, but I like to go away from me. So I'll start and then I'll go to the edge and then I'll turn it and I'll go away from me again. I feel like I get a more of a straight doodle line, even though I know doodle lines aren't supposed to be perfect, I feel like I have more control over it that way. But that's how I like to do doodle lines. Some people bring it towards them. Whatever feels good to you, go ahead and do it. So now we're going to add our cute little jar in the center. And on this one, we're going to add the heart right on top of that existing heart. You can use a glue dot, or this is liquid glue. And then I'm just going to add it right on top of there, kind of covering that one. And that one is done, so we can set it aside to dry. So there's that one. And then you need to find a spot to put them so they can dry. And then let's finish this one up. It's a little bit different, but pretty much the same concept. Okay, so let's do the red candy apple. This red color I use all the time. It doesn't matter what time of year or season. If you need a red, this is the one I go to, is the candy apple. Okay, now white in the center. Then the cherry, about an inch up. And then the yellow, which is really, I think, lemonade, if I remember right. Very summery. Candy apple and lemonade. Put that right on top of that. Bring our jar in. In the center. And then grab our little whisk, our Barbie whisk. Anybody else play with Barbies when they're little? Oh. My mom actually gave me a box of all of my Barbies, and I'm not sure what happened to it, honestly. A couple moves later, not sure where it went. But my daughter's too old for Barbies now. So I'm just going to kind of set it right across that heart with the liquid glue. And can you smell that wood? I love our wood shapes. They smell so good. Okay, now we're going to grab our sticker. And it's this one right here next to the bowls, this blue one. And I'm going to put right on top to cover up the heart that is already there. And there you go. Not fun? So cute. All right. Let's go for card number 2. Let me grab our sample. Those two right there. Okay, so for this one, we're going to need 2 pieces of the cherry, 2 pieces of the lemonade plaid, and then 2 pieces of the zip strip, and 2 jars. So let's stamp the jars first. I wonder, I'm going to try something real fast and see. I wonder if I can actually set the sentiment. Nope, I can't. I was like, I wonder if I could stamp it all at the same time, but I can't. Turn it. All right. Didn't hurt to try. Okay, so let's put our, okay. And then intense black ink, because we're going to color this one as well. And for me, it's easier to, I don't know why, I'll just stamp it this way instead of up and down. It's like stretching my fingers. If you have small hands, I am sorry. This block is huge. Okay. I think we used to have a smaller block that was like 4x4. That seems a little more manageable. Okay. Now we're going to do a pinch of salt and a dash of sass. this would be my daughter. Describes her perfectly. She kind of gets the sass from me, so I can't get too mad at her about it. And we're just going to stamp that in the middle of our jar. Oops. And then this one, looks like I need to re-ink this intense black. I use it all the time. I think I will tell you, it is my most used black, this intense black. That's the one I usually grab when I'm stamping. Okay, so I'm going to clean that off, put it back on my sheet, and scooch those off to the side. And now we can assemble. So let's stick those over there. Okay, so grab 2 card bases, and I am using the value pack cards and envelopes. There's 50 in here, and they come already scored, and of course with envelopes. So every time I place an order, I always grab a package of them because I am using them all the time. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this to the card base. And oh, we don't want our cherries upside down. I'm going to set that in the center, leaving a little bit of the white border. And then the lemonade is probably about an inch up. I'm kind of more of an eyeball instead of an exact. I'm pretty sure I put the measurements in the instructions if you no. I don't follow the rules. Oh, we need to color these real fast. So let's set this aside and grab the markers. So this is the ice blue, and we're going to do this just like we did the other one with the light. And I'm just going to outline. I keep saying gonna. Does that tell you where I'm from? And if I talk to my friend Carol a lot, I start saying y'all. She is from Georgia. It's funny how we pick up on like other people's wording or mannerisms when we hang out with them for a while. That's probably why I hear myself come out in my kids all the time. Okay, let's just do this last one, outline. Or I hear my mother come out of my mouth sometimes. It's all good. Go around this one. And so with these markers, I found sometimes after you leave them for a little bit, the color changes. So sometimes I'll just leave it and see what happens as it dries. And then if I need to add more color later, I can do that. So I think this one I used the dark on the ribbon. Oh, I did. I did one with the dark and one with the light, or the medium. So you can decide which one you like more. And then I'll just do what I did on my samples. Then I'm doing the medium, so you can kind of maybe see through the video. This one's obviously dull green is one of my favorites. It's getting screechy. So maybe you can tell the difference in those two. Okay, on this one we are going to color the heart with the coral. And I'm doing the medium on the outside, and then I'll do the light in the center. Or you can do it all one color, totally up to you. do the light. There we go. Just gonna blend that in. And on this one too. Okay, now we can finish our card. So I'm going to add the doodle lines. The same way I did on the other one. Just on the outside. If you need just a little something, but you don't necessarily want to add like another layer of cardstock, doodle lines are super fun. And I feel like they just add just a little bit of pop to your project. And there we go. Okay. And since these are like exactly the same, I'm just going to walk you through one, and then you can finish the other one. So we are going to put our jar down. You can pop it up if you want to. I didn't because I'm adding these dimensional elements to it, so I didn't want too much bulk. But there's two types of flowers in this cute little set. There's like the more spiky, and then there's the more wavy. So I used those two. So kind of the bigger one. See, there's the 3 sizes. I used the larger one and the medium. And then there's these more subtle ones, and I used those on the second card. So those are the 2 ones I used. Stick those with my other card, and I'm just going to use some liquid adhesive. You can use glue dots. Oh, I kind of put that one a little different than on my sample. That's okay. And you'll just want to set that aside to dry, and then you can do your second one. There you go. All right, so now we're moving on to the third one. This is the one that I misplaced one of them. Let's see if I can find it really fast. There it is. It's in my box. Okay, so these are kind of fun. We're using those little squares that were on the back side of that bracket page. So I told you when we were cutting to go ahead and cut all the squares. So now you can choose which ones to use. I didn't pull them out prior, but I'm going to just go ahead and choose the same ones that I did before. So just depending on what you want your theme of the card to be, if you want it to be more cooking type. Oh, I could have used that one. No. I'm probably going past the ones I used. There's that one. And then this one right here is it's a sticker. So you won't find that one in your collection. So let me find that red one real fast with is it a colander? Is that what you call it? A strainer. There we go. All right, now set those aside for our other layout. We'll be using them again. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp the secret ingredients is always love on the right-hand side of your card base. So I'm gonna grab 2 bases. And you will want your cushy and you'll want your stamp. So the secret ingredients is always love. And your intense black and your block. Okay. Now I want to stamp it probably as close to the bottom right as I can, just to give room for the rest of the elements that are going on this card. So I'm going to ink this guy up, and I'm going to stamp it right there on the bottom right. I'm just going to hold it. Don't rock it because you don't want any extra ink. Just want to hold it for a second. There you go. Let's do it for the second one. Now if you mess up and you don't like it, you can cover it up with another piece of white cardstock and try again. You can always fix it. Okay. Now let's clean that off with the stamp chamois. And move our ink out of the way and our squishy. And now we can assemble our card. So I'm going to start with this yellow one right here. I'm just going to add it to the bottom left hand side. And you might want to just hang it off just a little bit because these squares don't fit, so you can see I'm going to have to cut a little bit off. And then this center one, line it up right with the side, and then our red vase on the top. Then on your sticker sheet, you have this red scalloped border, and we are going to use that right here. So you don't want to cover up your sentiment, and you don't want to cover up your images, but you can just kind of stick it straight in the center and go up. And then we'll just trim everything. And grab your scissors. And we'll just trim all of the extras off. And we can use a sticker for our second one. So be careful with this one. We're going to hold on to it for just a second. And then we'll trim the bottom. Oops. Trying to make it straight. There we go. Okay, there's your first one. Just like that. Okay, for the second one, it's a little bit different. We're going to do this cute little bowl or colander or strainer, whatever you call it. And then I'm going to put the top one on, line it straight, and then that gives me enough room to add, like how I held on to the sticker. It gives me enough room to add this bowl with the flowers, and I'm going to use some 3D foam to pop it up. This is the thin 3D foam, which I like to use on cards so it doesn't make them too bulky to mail them. And then we'll take that extra sticker and do the same thing. Whoops. For some odd reason, I remember what I was watching when I created these. My daughter and I were watching Spider-Man, and how I just remember that, I don't know. Oh, that's funny. It's funny how your brain works. Like, I just remember, oh yeah, we were watching Spider-Man when I was making these. Oh, heavens. So there you go. There is your second one. She's 13 and she just got into Marvel. We just let her start watching the Marvel series, and she is loving it. She's a little obsessed, and Loki is her favorite. That's okay. That's okay. Even though Captain America is where it's at. If you're into Marvel, put in the comments who your favorite is. Where's my other Marvel fans? Okay. That was a weird tangent. So the next cards, they're also very similar. We're going to need two of the jars. I have an extra. Yay. Oh, and let me tell you what I do with my extras. So if I have an extra, or if I'm getting my thin cuts out, sometimes I'll just do an extra cut or two. You can just stick them right in this envelope, or even better, I stick them right in the back of my thin cuts, so they don't fall out. So I don't always have to, if I'm like, oh, I really want to use that jar, and then I don't, you can just quickly make what you want. All right, a little side note. Okay, let's get back on track. I started thinking of Captain America and I'm gone. All right. My husband thinks I just like to watch them because they're cute, but I really kind of like the storylines. They're not bad. We're going to stamp the jar with intense black again. So we're going to color them. And then our second one. Again, you could leave these plain if you wanted to. I just thought a little extra color made it pop. And just, you can leave your jar out because we're going to be using it for some other projects. And now let's color these guys with our ice blue. Use the light one. And just like the others, we're going to just do the exact same thing. I guess you could have done this all at the same time. But then we couldn't discuss, like Marvel and things like that. You guys watch the Disney Plus series, like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the one I just finished with my daughter. I do not like Captain America in that series. And let's see. Oh, WandaVision. We watched that. The first 3 episodes, I was like, what is this? But it got better. Poor Wanda. I kind of feel bad for her. And my daughter's favorite Marvel character is Loki. Did I say that already? Sorry. It's hard to craft and talk at the same time sometimes. And she's actually getting, it is superhero day at her dance, and she wants to dress up like Loki. So, sure. Okay, we're going to do the mid of the green, dull green, or the dark, or the light, whatever you want to do. So she had me order, back to Loki, she had me order her a Loki, so I think it says Loki's Army or something on it. I'm sure it's just a phase. She'll be on to something new soon. But it's kind of funny. Okay. Gives her something to chat about with the boys. Her girlfriends think she's crazy, but the boys like to talk to her about Marvel. And then the coral on the heart. And I'm going to do this is the light, sorry. I shouldn't expect you to remember or read my mind. And then medium, I'm going to outline with the medium one. Let's give it a little bit of dimension. All right. Okay, so for this card, you need 4 of the cherries pattern, but we're going to flip, 4 of the cherry, and then 4 of the floral, and then we're going to use the opposite side too. Now I have to remember how I did this. So grab your paper trimmer, and did I say? So the top left going to the bottom right. Ugh, I hope I don't mess this up. Okay, so the top left to the bottom right. So there's the top left corner. I'm lining it up with that rail that's in there, and then the bottom right corner. Okay, maybe I will. So that one goes there. I'm going to just line it up with my card. And then that one goes there. Okay. So then I need to do the right to the bottom left. Good thing we have extra paper if I mess up. There we go. Just like that. Okay, now you can do that again for the second card. So the top left, the bottom right, and oops, this way. There we go. And then do the top right to the left. Have you guys seen this pattern around? It's been super popular. I've been seeing it on some boards and things, and so I wanted to try it with these patterns, and I think it turned out super cute. Okay, so we're going to do the top left to the bottom right again with this cherry pattern. And line it up. And then we'll just do again top left, bottom right for the second card. Now that I feel a little bit better, a little more confident about my cutting. And then we're gonna do, flip it over, and you can do the left to right. That's what it is. That makes more sense. We'll get it. I'll remember what I did in a second. So flip it over to the yellow and do the left to the right. I have so many projects and things always going on in my head. I forget sometimes by the time we get to craft day. Okay, now we can put these guys together. So grab your 2 card bases. I probably should review my notes and my instructions before I start teaching, but I'm like, no, let's just go for it and see what happens. It's way more fun that way, right? Okay, so we're going to line it up like that and kind of do the best you can to space them. There's probably about 1/4 of an inch in between each one. And let's start gluing. So pick wherever you want to start, and we'll start attaching them. And I am using a Close to My Heart glue today. It is repositionable, so if I do mess up, I can lift it up and fix it. And then as it sits, it becomes more permanent. So that's why I like to use the Close to My Heart runner. Because if you've watched me for a little bit, you know that I'm always messing up somehow. And my cute friend Jill tells me that it's just room for embellishment when you mess up. Which I've gotten really good at embellishing for all my little mess ups. Sometimes they're good mess ups though, you know, something you didn't think of. And you're like, oh, that's cute. All right. And the last one. Okay, now I thought it was a little too busy. So for this one, I'm using the journaling pen to kind of define some of the areas. So I am going to doodle around the yellows, and then I'm going to doodle around the whole thing. So I'm going to just do a line around them. I thought it made the yellow pop a little bit more and bring that color out. Oh, I was going to do it the wrong way, and that would have been disastrous. After I tell you all that I like to do it away from me. And then I'm going to doodle all the way around the outside. And this kind of helps save on layers just by putting an extra doodle line on there. My mats were coming apart. All right, and one more. Okay, so I think that helps make things pop a little bit. So I'm going to, yep, I did. I'm going to 3D foam the jar. Again, this is the thin, and it rips really easily, or you can use your scissors if you prefer. Either way, it all goes down the same. Okay, and we're just going to set that in the center. And then we're going to use some hearts. Kind of scooch this out of the way so I can see what hearts I used. On one of them I used 2 hearts, on the other I did 3. So I'm going to grab this heart right here next to the yellow flower. I'm just going to kind of set it in the jar. And then this little yellow one next to memories. And then the red one next to, nope, I think it's this one right here, up here next to the Whisk and Love, right there. Just a couple little hearts in there. And the second one is just like it, so I'm not going to walk you, oh wait, I forgot the wood pieces. Hold on. So for the wood pieces, it's the same. You want to use the smaller, like the more spiky one. And then for the second one, the more wavy. The big and small for the wavy. Put my Barbie pieces back in. And we're going to use some liquid glue. You could use glue dots if that's what you have. And add a couple little wood pieces on there. Okay, there you go. And you can put the second one together just like it. I'm going to set these 2 aside and move my pieces. And all right, for the last 2, you'll need a flower piece and the cherry piece. Let me grab them so you can see what they're like. So they're the same design, but I use different patterns and different stickers. Then you'll need 2 of the cranberry 2 of the smaller cranberry and then 2 white. So let's go ahead and do the cherry one. So we're gonna, oh, hold on. Set that aside. We need to do the candy apple first. There we go. Candy apple. Then we can bring our cherry in. Just like that. And then the smaller red goes in the center. And then on the sticker sheet it has this plaid. And I'm going to just pull that up. We're going to use it on both cards. And I'm going to just go all the way across the card. And then I will trim it with my scissors. And we'll hold on to that for just a second to use for the other one. Now you want to put your white piece on. And we're going to doodle line around this one. Do you guys like the doodles? Let me know what you think. I know some people really love them, some people don't. What do you think? What's your opinion on them? On this project, I really liked them because I felt like it helped bring out some of the colors and patterns. Okay, so now we need the cherry sticker, which is right here next to the mixer. And I'm going to add some 3D foam on the back of it. Oops. Just a little bit. There we go. Trying to be not messy, but I don't think crafting and clean go together. I'm going to just stick that right in the center. And there you go. There's your card number 9. Cute cherries. And then the last one is this one right here. A card base. And last time I gave you the tip on the card bases, and I probably should have done this in the beginning, but when you have your card bases scored, the valley, so when it dips down, is on the front, and then the mountain where it goes up is on the inside. So just a little extra tip there. It makes your card fold better. So I'm going to add that candy apple and then our flower pattern. Isn't that just the prettiest flower pattern? Oh, I love it. I keep talking about my grandma and her roses. You guys are probably tired of it, but oh, she had beautiful roses. And I'm out of adhesive. Let me grab my other one. That's why I always have a spare. I always add that to my order too. Card bases and an adhesive. 2 things that you'll always need. Okay, so we're going to add our sticker across. Kind of right down in the center. You can cut that off. You can use that for something else. And then our white piece. And we're going to doodle one last time on the white. Let me know if you're a lefty or a righty in the comments. Where are my lefty friends? Oh, sometimes it's I do things right-handed just because it's easier. Okay, now this is kind of a cluster of flowers, so we're going to build this. So we're going to use this one for the center, and we have this blue one right here, and we need these two little guys. So let's start with this floral. I'm just going to kind of go off to the right hand side. And then there's this one right here. And it's going to go about right there. Then you have your blue flower right here, or lagoon. Just going to add it about right there. And then your little tulip looking flowers, we're going to use some 3D foam to pop them up just a little bit. And then, oh, we forgot the peach flower. Hold on. It's right here next to the tag. Add that about right there. And then we're going to add our tulips right there. And then our two little blue hearts. I did the darker one on the bottom and the lighter one on the top. Isn't that cute? Just by adding, clustering up all of those flowers, you have a nice little bouquet in the center of your flower, or in the center of your card. Okay, so that is all of them. I think we made it through. So if you have any questions, let me know. Again, if you were not able to grab these supplies before today, they are still available. And I'll put the supply list in the comments so you can check that out. But let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this pattern or what your favorite thing was about these cards. And come back in just a little bit. We'll be doing layout number 1. I'll see you in just a bit.